Yeah, we're live. Happy
Hello.
Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day. I should be at my friend's barbecue swimming in a pool with my sexy girlfriend, but instead, I'm here reviewing one of the worst episodes of television, most disturbing, sorry, episodes of television I
No,
think I've,
you,
I've
you
ever
were right the
watched.
first time.
Yeah, it's this
It's the
is
worst. This show. I mean, last week's episode was somewhat tolerable, but in context of the rest of the season, it didn't like elevate the season. But they decided to just since they didn't make last week's episode particularly offensive, they thought they'd just double down this week.
good
And so
lord.
they
Yeah.
open up the episode with the shot you see on the screen right here with a guy getting anally raped with a knockout drug. And it,
Well, he wasn't raped, he wanted it.
yeah, I know he wanted. He's into BDSM, which was kind of the theme of this whole episode.
It really was. Like I almost
And
threw I
then
literally almost threw up when she wiped
yeah,
that stuff on his
and
face.
the climax, pun intended, of the episode was Huey being tortured in a sex dungeon, and having various bodily fluids smeared on him. And then, as if that wasn't enough,
Oh God.
yeah, don't worry,
I'm not
that's,
even, this isn't an act. I'm just thinking it was gross, dude.
yeah. And if that wasn't bad enough, they finished the episode with Homelander getting milk from a woman spurted in his face, because why not? We haven't done the trifecta of bodily cavity.
And poor Huey scarred for life, like this last scene of
And okay, I will give it up to Quaid for his performance after the BDSM rape scene was top. He looked like a man who had been raped.
yeah.
He really did a good job there as far as acting. But just because his acting was good doesn't mean the episode was. This episode was just offensive. And I mean, anybody that enjoys this show, man, there's something wrong with you. The only reason I could see you could enjoy this show is if you hate Republicans so much that you want to see them portrayed as this deprived. But that's it. That's it.
I did like this show until this season. This season is just
Oh,
just-
Planet X, we got Human Centipede 2 episodes ago. Literally.
yeah, we did. Yeah, with the multiply man guy.
Yeah, this dude that can make copies of himself. He's kind of like what's the guy's name
Multiple
from
Man.
the X-Men? Yeah, Multiple Man from the X-Men. Same power basically. And so what does he do? He makes like 5 copies of himself and starts, licking his own butthole 5 times over.
Yes, gross.
That's
Yeah.
what this show is doing.
Yeah.
And yes, Stan, they are suggesting that all conservatives are complete perverts. There are no exceptions.
Yeah, this is I think I might be tapping out after this episode. I don't think I'm gonna do anymore.
I find this show absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, I don't think I can watch this show anymore.
So yeah, and the only reason we're talking about it today is because Danny wasn't able to attend our recording session, so we couldn't talk about Prodigy. But next week, I don't care if you don't watch it, Danny. We're talking about Prodigy. I don't care if you watch it or not. I am not watching another episode of this show.
I'm not watching another episode of The Boys either, but I don't have Netflix, so we're gonna have to get together so I can.
Well, that's why we watch shows together on
Yes.
Tuesdays when somebody shows up. And so I figured, to cheer myself up after watching this, oh my God, so horrible episode, that I just like surf YouTube a little bit. And I saw one of the legal channels that I like to listen to. A guy talks about court cases and precedents and stuff. And he was breaking down this whole Supreme Court ruling over Trump's immunity. And it's like,
Gorilla, be safe out there. Have fun.
yeah, take it easy, Gorilla. And man, democracy in this country is freaking over. It is literally over. And
you're gonna have to
this has
explain
nothing
this
to do
to
with
me.
Yeah, this is not. Let me preface this with this. This is not about Trump. This is about what the Supreme Court did.
So
Okay.
what did they do? I've been so busy.
They
Actually, I had
made
to
it
work
so
today.
that the President of the United States has absolute and unconditional immunity when doing anything that is an official power of the presidency, which includes, and this is stated in the majority's writings, that includes the fact that the president commands the military, which means the president could literally order SEAL Team 6 to assassinate his political rivals, and he is immune.
Oh my God.
Now,
Is this real?
this is 100% real. In fact, I never thought I would say this, but Justice Sotomayor wrote a wonderful dissenting opinion on this, and I can't stand her. But she was 100% right. They basically have given the president unconditional power to use the military and the Department of Justice and everything else any way they damn well please. And they are completely immune. The only thing that the president is not immune from is things that are not official presidential stuff. So, for example, like I'll say this: technically speaking, you could argue that the false electors thing in Georgia, I think, that case could still go forward even with this ruling. However, it is actually set up by the Supreme Court that you cannot question the President of the United States' motives, because that would intrude upon the security of the office of the presidency.
Darth Maul, thanks for stopping by. Even though
Good to see you, buddy.
You can't stay, but yeah, next week we'll do Prodigy. We're done with the boys, man. So
yeah. And Planet X. You don't understand. I understand that it must fall into constitutionally allowed actions. That is not what the ruling says. It is any constitutional power the president has, he can wield with absolute immunity. And that would include being commander-in-chief of the United States military. It would, and it would also include weaponizing the Department of Justice with trumped-up charges, no pun intended there, against your political opponents. Which means, by the way, that I don't want to hear one more complaint from Trump lovers out there about how Joe Biden is inappropriately using the Department of Justice, because apparently that's all okay now.
Well, I thought you said you did something to cheer up after watching this.
Yeah, I tried to. And Planet X, define what a because you know what the Constitution doesn't say? The Constitution doesn't tell the president when he can and cannot use the military. It only says that he's the commander-in-chief. It doesn't say that he can't, it doesn't enumerate everything that he can do. And in the ruling opinion on this case, they don't enumerate what the president can do. You have to understand, yes, it's within Planet X. You need to read more on this, because this is dangerous, this ruling. And it has nothing to do with Trump, like I said. It has to do with giving the president way too much power. The executive branch is not supposed to be able to act with impunity compared to the other branches. Now, the president would still be subject to, for example, impeachment. But he would be immune from any kind of criminal prosecution. So the best they could do would be remove him from office. But that's not why we're here to talk about that fun-filled.
Thanks for happy Independence Day, everybody. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Just in time for Independence Day. It's the end of democracy as we know it.
Wow. Well, I'm hoping you'll be somewhat giving, maybe is a good word for it, and let us end the show around 7 so I can still make it to my friend's party and see the fireworks. If not, I'll deal. But that said, I did want to go ahead and throw out the Criticless trivia question, because we did not do one yesterday.
Oh, yeah, we never got around to that.
So today's is an easy one. If you saw the episode, what's Web Slinger's safe word? First answer to get it correct in the chat will win the prize pack from Criticless, from the fine folks at Criticless.
Yeah.
What was the safe word?
Yeah.
There you go.
So,
anyway.
this episode okay, if we kind of try to ignore all the over the top.
Stan Lee, ding, 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 ding. You're the winner.
Yes.
Direct message me right here on Twitter, and I will mail you out your prize. Thanks for playing.
Although I like Aravik's answer better.
Yes, unfortunately, it was Zendaya, though.
So, yeah, this episode, there's one. So there's a couple of plot reveals in this episode. I don't even want to go frame by frame because this episode is too disgusting.
It really is.
We'd probably get in too much trouble trying to not show stuff.
I mean, we could get away with showing
I'm not going to even
what's her name, Sister Sage getting shot in the head. I mean, that was probably the least terrible thing to happen in this episode.
Yeah. Although, the funny thing is, if Sister Sage, because the guy even pointed out she's not bulletproof, and I understand, lobotomizing herself like she did in the previous episode, but a bullet to the head, that would kill her.
That's what I thought. And how did Firecracker? I thought that Starlight killed her when she stabbed. Does she have some kind of powers? I wasn't noticing.
No, I think she drugged her. I think she hit her with a needle.
Oh, okay. I thought she stabbed her in the neck with something. Okay.
And Stan, her brain grows back, but if you shoot someone in the head, unless they are incredibly lucky, they're going to die almost immediately. Especially, that was a temple shot.
I thought she was dead. I said, oh my God, he killed her. He killed her. I was like, I was.
Her totally frontal lobe would have been turned into mush, and at that point, your brain would stop functioning. And so that was complete BS. And in fact, he should have then shot her on the ground anyway, just to make sure she was dead.
Yeah. Well, he had a little panic attack and passed out.
Right.
And then, what did you think about the whole global pandemic, the very final scene where they're talking about?
Right. So they basically, okay, so they the reason they drug the spider dude here is so that they can dress Huey in his costume, which they make all sorts of references about what it smells like.
Oh, God,
because apparently the guy never bathes and never washes his clothes.
And he's a disgusting...
Yeah, and he's also into BDSM.
Yeah.
Which is, so just really... The stuff they do in this episode is just rank.
Yeah.
But anyway, so... Huey infiltrates the party so they can try to find out what Homelander's evil plan is, which is really Sister Sage's evil plan, because Homelander, like we all know, is a doofus. And the plan is basically to use those evil private prisons that those Republicans like as internment camps for all the people that disagree with Homelander's agenda. And thanks to the new Supreme Court ruling, that'd be perfectly legal.
Wow.
And so the vice president is on board with it, obviously, or the vice president elect is on board with it, obviously, and so that's the core of their plan. And meanwhile, their version of Batman is hosting this party, and I was actually kind of curious. Wonder what Tech Knight's going to be like when they show, like they said, he's going to go to the tech cave, and it turns out
I got a little excited for that as well.
Yeah, and then it turned out to just be a sex dungeon.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So Huey actually, what they didn't know was the only reason this spider dude, who's a low-level hero anyway, was invited to the party was because Tech Knight wanted to bring him down to the sex dungeon and rape the crap out of him, along with what's her name, the PR chick.
The one that just got dumped by the guy that they just killed.
Yeah.
I don't know her name. So.
Yeah.
Don't care enough to know her name at this
Yeah.
point.
And Planet X. I understand you want to talk about the Supreme Court ruling, but we're not going to spend the whole day talking about the Supreme Court ruling. However, The actual ruling says that for the core constitutional powers, the president has absolute and total immunity, and for ancillary political powers, he has presumptive immunity. The
Anybody
only thing
else
he
notice
has,
he goes, we're not going to talk about it, and then
and well, I'm just answering what he's saying here, but the only thing that the president can actually be prosecuted for is things that are not presidential duties. So basically, if he beats somebody up while walking down the street, technically, that he can be prosecuted for.
Nixon's probably rolling over in his grave.
No,
jealousy.
actually, Nixon is a defense of this ruling, because Nixon and you can find I'm sure you can find the video online where Nixon said that if the president does it, it's legal.
Well, I know, that's what I'm saying. He's probably jealous. He's like, why couldn't they do this when I was president?
Yeah, you know? I was right all along, damn it. You know? But anyway, the let's see.
Anyways, back to the show. I don't want to really talk politics. The Supreme Court worked on the 4th of July, huh? That's crazy.
No. This was just a video that came out today. The Supreme Court came down with the ruling a couple days ago.
Oh, that's how out of touch I am with them.
Yeah.
I try not to watch the news.
And the thing is, the only reason I've been paying any attention to the Supreme Court this year is because there's really only one thing that I really want to see, and that is where they come down on the Google case, because that could effectively destroy the concept of the algorithm. And I'm very curious to see how that pans out. But so far, I haven't heard anything on that case.
I'm not even familiar with that. That's, again, I actively avoid the news.
It's whether or not if the algorithm suggesting a video is the same as Google as a company endorsing said video.
Oh.
And because a person was recruited into Al-Qaeda because of videos recommended on YouTube by the algorithm. And so the family is suing Google. LDG had to delay his big announcement. Oh, I'm shocked. I'm
not familiar with this, but I do. I miss that guy. I need to go say hi to him. I haven't been in the underground in a while, so the move. And
his big announcement about how Project Prometheus is going to make everything good for everybody. And
I like what Stan says here.
Yeah.
Apparently, freeing the net and saving the world will take an extra month or so. Well, you take all the time you need there, buddy.
But anyway, so after they find out that the evil plan is just for Republicans to be stereotypes, and by the way, oh man, this scene where the guy is, and this is how stupid and on the nose the writing for this show is. This guy is just straight up saying, "Yeah, we're a bunch of racists. We hate black people and stuff," right in front of A-Train.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, look, I've known people that have been, we'll just say, shady as far as racism is concerned. And you know what they wouldn't do? If a black person was standing 2 feet away from them, they wouldn't sound like they're being racist on purpose. Especially a black guy that has superpowers and could kill everybody in the room except Homelander before anybody realizes what's going on.
Right.
So yeah, that's just stupid. But yeah, he was saying something to the effect of, "Oh yeah, and tell me, when have you ever heard anybody talk like this?" He says, "Well, you know, my family," because this is Tech Knight, and he was talking about how rich he was, and he's saying, "My family made its initial money capturing slaves, and we were really good at it too. Tell you what, A-Train, you might have given us a run for your money, but we would have caught you."
Yeah. You know, at least this guy dies by the end of the episode. So there's that.
Yeah, but it's the fact that the writing is so bad. That I understand that the guy that's making the show, and he's flat out said it. I mean, he hates Republicans.
Well, it just wasn't so on the nose the first 3 seasons. At least
Right.
I didn't think it was. Anyway.
And Stan, there's a difference between a flex and, I mean, but if A-Train had lost his temper here, he could have killed the guy easily. And not only that, he could have made it look like an accident easily.
Yeah.
It's freaking 8. I mean, he can run around the room so fast that nobody realizes he's moved. So he could be standing there and then,
We could do like he did to Huey's girlfriend, just run right through the guy, you know?
Well, what I was thinking, actually, what I would do is like real fast, go from where he's standing right now to right behind him, tap him on the back of the head, and then come back to where he's standing. So that it would, to anybody in the room, A-Train didn't move, but it would look like he just got shot in the back of the head.
Oh, wow.
That's how I would have done it. Or better yet, punch him in the back of the head, make his head explode. Everybody would think it was the vice president.
That was kind of funny when she had that little daydream where she blew the dude's head up who was talking about abortion.
Yeah,
At
but
first
you see,
I
and
thought
that's
she
just
really
another
did it.
example of it, you know, where, you know, and then of course they got to throw all the jargon in. I just got mansplained about abortion from some guy who won't have sex with anybody but his wife.
Won't be in a room alone.
Or won't be in a room alone with anybody but his wife.
Yeah, it was a
or
Mike
his
Pence jab, basically. is
Right.
what that was.
It's all this, and the thing is, it's coming from the position of someone who doesn't understand what holiness living is. And I'm not someone that says that that's how everybody. And yeah, he said or his mistress, because of course we know that every good Christian man is actually secretly has half a dozen mistresses on the side, because that's just what we do. But yeah. So after she really shouldn't have gotten that plastic surgery.
I know, she looks so different. It's not. Yeah.
So, and you know, the funny thing is that Huey passes for the spider dude, who looks like the spider dude is like 6 inches shorter than him and a lot stockier. I mean, how did Huey even get this costume on?
Right.
But, you know, whatever.
That's the least of this episode's problems.
Yeah. So, yeah, so the Dork Knight, I think that was his name, right? Takes him down to
Tech Knight.
Yeah, Dork Knight takes him down to the sex dungeon and says, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have some fun." and his gimp in the corner is like screaming in agony.
Dude, like, really, I don't want to rehash this stuff.
Yeah, you're the one that made me watch this crap.
And you know what? You're getting the last laugh, aren't you?
And
I made the mistake. I was eating while I was watching, like, because I was not expecting this, and I literally almost threw up. Like, I had my gag reflex, and I was just like, okay, I had to.
Well, that's just because you're a wuss.
I guess so, man. It was just.
I mean, I found the episode disgusting, but I didn't lose my lunch over it. So yeah, the Deep and the not real Black Noir have a conversation, and which unfortunately is probably the best part of this episode, but also nobody gives a crap. You know, so.
Oh, fireworks, huh?
Well, you know, it's 2 hours later here.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm hoping we can dip out in 30 so I don't miss the fireworks.
Yeah, so you don't miss the fireworks. I understand.
Hey, we could have...
Everything's about you.
We could have rescheduled the show. I'm just saying. I did hit you up this morning.
What's the first thing from the chat today? Hey, guys, thanks for doing a show today.
Yes, that's true. That is true.
All right, so
you're
no,
welcome.
I'm not a quitter. Just because our show happens to fall on a holiday, oh well.
You going to say the same thing if it lands on Christmas or Easter? It'll never land on Easter. Never mind.
Yeah, Easter's always a Sunday.
Always a Sunday.
And as far as Christmas is concerned, yes, Christmas is not a religious holiday.
Okay.
It's a secular holiday that happens to be about a religious figure. Anyway. So then back to the mansion. So this is so we actually get a somewhat interesting reveal about Butcher and his hallucination wife, which is that the CIA operative he's been working with is also a hallucination. You know. Oh, this is your favorite part right here.
Oh,
So,
Abortion is just good policy.
so she pops her own head because the dude was talking about abortion
yeah.
in her fantasy.
Yeah.
Abortion is just good policy.
Oh. Oh. Yeah.
Abortion is just good policy.
Really?
Ah, nailed it.
Gross. Oh. You secretly love all the depravity in this show. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, I know you do. You see, you laugh at it and stuff when the.
Oh, come on, man.
What? You're the one that's enjoying it.
Abortion is just good policy.
Oh,
Yeah, that just goes fast. I was trying to see if you could catch like her face coming apart, but I think that there's no frames of that.
Dude.
All right.
Oh, really? Do we don't need to go through any of this.
Yeah, so he's into the autoerotic asphyxiation thing.
Yeah.
He actually has Huey drop his pants and sit on a chocolate cake and fart. I mean, what is that? Who gets turned on by that?
Yeah, this is...
I don't even understand that. I mean, like, look, I know that there are some people that for some reason derive sexual pleasure from pain. I understand that there are some people that get sexual pleasure from inflicting pain on others. I even though it's messed up, I understand it. I do not understand someone who wants to watch another person sit on a chocolate cake and fart.
And Stan Lee, I do not have a glass coffee table. I don't understand the question or why, what the relevance
Well,
of that is.
for people to sit on chocolate cakes and fart and put a camera underneath the glass table so you can get all the action there.
God, you guys. Oh.
And you know what's funny, Daniel, is
This
that
episode brought to you by poop.
Yeah, it's actually kind of that makes me think about this is that the way they're using the vice president's character in this, if one of these streaming services needs to make a series called Scanners based on the old movie. And because the effects are easy to do. I mean, I can do that kind of exploding head effect. It's not that difficult, but but imagine a whole series about that. That could actually be cool, and take it seriously as opposed to this show that, is just, I don't know. This is, oh, there you go. There's the money shot.
God, dude, why? You're killing me. This is my fault. This is 100% my fault, though.
Yes. This is what this guy gets off on.
Seriously, can we not freeze frame it on that? Please? Come on. Lord, man.
There you go. How's that one?
Good job, God.
So, yeah. And so the crew's trying to rescue him, because they know he's in trouble, and it's just, yeah, this is just so messed up. But it's just, and this is like the one cool scene in the entire episode, is they talk A-Train into getting Mother's Milk to the hospital because he had the panic attack. And he takes him and just leaves him on a gurney like this, right here. Mm-hmm. And as he does, he stops and looks, and there's a kid with what looks like his grandma or something. Probably grandma's sick or whatever, that's why they're at the hospital. And he looks at the kid looks at him, and and at first you're like, okay, is A-Train worried that he, that someone saw him? is what's going to happen? Is he's not going to kill the kid? Is he? I was actually thinking they're go there for a second. So then the kid smiles, and A-Train smiles back at him. That was a touching moment, and I think this was like the moment that it clicked for A-Train that really being a hero could be way better.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I actually really, this scene is subtle and it's well done, and this should have been the centerpiece of the episode. Not butt cakes and and anal rapes. This should have been what this episode was all about. So now that Sister Sage has been shot in the head, she's just stupid for some reason. I mean, look where that shot is. Her temporal lobe is gone.
Yeah.
And yet she's just acting like, oh, that was funny.
Daniel, I didn't know that. Interesting. He says they used a shotgun from the back of the fake head in scanners. I saw that movie way too young, by the way.
Well, I don't remember the first time I saw it, but I just think that a scanner series could work.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Mr. Trent, the bullet would still be in her head too, which means that her brain couldn't fully recover. She would need to have this, surgically, even if she had Wolverine-like healing power. And by the way, that's another thing. Look, I hate to admit this because I hate the movie X-Men Origins Wolverine. It's a horrible movie.
Mm-hmm.
I assume you've seen it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the wife and I have been watching all the Wolverine movies, and we're going to be watching the Deadpool movies and stuff, getting ready for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
And
we got, 20 days? I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and so but one thing that they got right about X-Men Origins Wolverine is that if you shot Wolverine in the head, then and the bullet actually got into his brain. The only reason it needed to be an adamantium bullet is so it could penetrate his adamantium skull.
Right.
But if you shot Wolverine in the head and hit his brain, the memories would not grow back.
Right.
Only the tissue would. And it should be the same with Sister Sage. She should have total amnesia after that bullet to the head. She would still be the smartest person in the world, assuming her brain matter could somehow regenerate, but she would have no memory of anything that happened prior to the gunshot. Or at least anything stored in that part of the brain.
I apologize. I'm being summoned by my roommate. I'll be right back.
Okay. I don't know why he's being summoned. Is he a genie or something? I don't know. Let's see. Let me see if I can get it to... I want to put it on Danny's favorite shot in the whole episode. My goodness, it's so hard to find just the right spot here. Where? Yeah, see, that's where she...
Say it.
No, Must be.
I'll be there in a minute.
There we go. I think this is it. 6:11. Yeah. Danny's. Let's see. Danny's boss telling him his new nickname is Butt Cakes. Ooh, yeah, okay, everybody should, okay, so everybody in the chat right now, start addressing Danny as Butt Cakes. Didn't Penny say Danny wasn't weaned till 5 or 6? I don't think Danny's been weaned yet. I don't think Miss Moneypenny is, I think he's hired a professional milk lady. Let's see. It's hard to find the right spot. Salty. Yes, indeed. I said that.
I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Good. So I found this just for you.
Oh, God. This was the part that... you jerk. That's the part I was eating at where I was like...
Yeah. So I won't say what it is, but that is a bodily fluid being smeared on his face.
I ain't never seen it look like that either. That's something wrong with her.
Anyway. So, and then they have this scene, they're like, they can't torture him to get the information they need. So what do? They go into his bank accounts and start donating to Black Lives Matter and stuff like that.
And Stan, no, that's my brother. We were Irish twins.
We already answered that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Anyway. So why do you have to pay for your wet nurse? Or what do you pay for your wet nurse?
I don't know.
You don't know how much you pay her?
I don't have a wet nurse. But
do you even know what a wet nurse is?
Homelander does. Isn't that somebody that breastfeeds you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Homelander got himself one.
Yeah. And so yeah, then she goes back to the prison where Frenchie turned himself in because apparently, I mean, he's going to have a lot of fun in prison since all of a sudden he's gay. So... And here's
oh my God, this was... so I was finishing the episode like minutes before we went live. And he's watching me watch this episode, and he's all like, "Oh, just wait for it." And I was like, "What?" And then titty milk gets squirted out.
Was in about sex.
Oh, and I have to watch my language. My roommate's daughter's here.
There you go.
Oh God! Again, that's not what.
This episode has more bodily fluids in it and references to bodily fluids than I think. Yeah.
Ugh. It really makes me wonder. These people writing this show, this Kripke guy who's like all libtard. Think of how disgusting and depraved he is to even write all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what Planet X is talking about. It's turned into some sort of sexual fetish outlet for the writers.
Yeah, it's just disgusting. Like, this episode broke me. I'm not watching I'm not watching any more of The Boys.
Yeah.
Done.
And I don't know what he's thinking with this, other than it's freaking nasty. So she explains that she took a bunch of hormones basically so that she could breastfeed. And there we go. Look, Homelander's having some num-nums.
Good Lord.
Of course, maybe if he didn't laser eye his mother, this
Right.
wouldn't have been a problem, but...
Yeah.
And this is the scene I was talking about with the way
me too. This is like, he...
Oh my God. Huey, what else did she do to you?
I'm not fine.
Yeah. Oh, man. Poor Huey.
I mean, say what you want about him being Boimler on Star Trek. This dude has the acting chops.
Yeah.
He really does. And this is one of the reasons I want to see a live action show featuring Ensign Boimler or Lieutenant Boimler.
Mike. Mike Richards here. Hold up. Look at that.
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of the Center for Disease Control, they do figure out that, okay, in order to make a virus powerful enough to kill Homelander, it would mutate into an airborne variant that would kill all superheroes on the planet.
Yeah, that's the next ending scene. That's what's
Right.
coming up next.
And Butcher is torn on this, even though, like, his evil side, the CIA guy, is like, come on, that's what we're here for. And his good side, his wife, both hallucinations, of course, is like, you can't do this. It's not what not what you're planning.
Yeah, she starts naming off his friends that are also supers.
Not to mention her son.
Yeah, yeah.
So do they make a genetic super weapon that could kill all supers, or do they try to figure out some other way to take Homelander down?
And I'll read about it later because I'm not watching this show anymore. It's just it broke me.
Well, it seems to me that, I mean, because the dumb thing is, as ruthless and mean that Butcher's supposed to be, he had a perfect opportunity to kill Homelander before and didn't.
Yeah.
So he should have just taken him out then. And why not just give Compound V to a bunch of, I'm sorry, as much as people say, they don't like the idea of these superheroes, but if all of the boys took Compound V, they already have Wolverine Girl and Starlight. And so if the rest of them, so Frenchie, Butcher, Boimler, and is there anybody else that I'm missing? But they all took, Mother's Milk. If they all took Compound V, then the 6 of them together, I think, would be able to take Homelander down. Especially if they could recruit the help of someone like A-Train,
Right.
Who is one of the more powerful soups. And we've seen that Homelander is not Superman. He is, it is possible to hurt him. We've seen that. And if he can be hurt, he can be killed.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this show has hurt me.
Yeah.
What are Homelander's weaknesses? I don't think he has specific weaknesses.
Breast milk.
His ego is obviously a big problem, but if you look at the show, there have been, like, he was on the Mav did impale him. Soldier Boy
Maeve.
was able to hurt, or Maeve. Soldier Boy hurt him with his beams. So maybe Homelander can breastfeed on mother's milk. So I think, by the way, interestingly enough, we've seen that I can never remember her name. What's the name of the mute Asian girl that's Komiko? She is super strong, and while she's not invulnerable, she has recovered from being ripped in half.
Yeah, she's almost got more like Deadpool type powers than Wolverine.
Well, remember, Deadpool and Wolverine's regenerative abilities are actually about the same. It's just we've never seen Wolverine ripped in half.
Well, fair enough.
At least not in the movies.
Yeah.
But remember, in the comic books, Wolverine recovered from a single cell at one point.
Yeah.
But her powers are actually much better than Wolverine or Deadpool's, because she can recover from being ripped in half in less than a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so she would be the only one that I think would be unkillable.
Yeah. Yeah, she'd probably be like the end of Godzilla -1. If just leave a little piece of her left, she'd just grow back.
The other thing is that if you could somehow, if too bad they don't have like a mind control super, because if you could mind control the vice president and have her pop Homelander's head, game over.
Yeah.
So Ghouls Wonka says that Homelander could kill her even though she can heal. Well, possibly, but
And it's like the age-old question: if you cut the head off, does the head grow a new body, or does the body grow a new head?
well, that's because I would think that the head would grow a new body because the head has the brain.
Right?
But what if you cut someone in half lengthwise?
Right? Yeah. These are.
Would you effectively
See,
clone the
I'd rather
person?
they explore stuff like that instead of this. I don't even.
Well,
Like I
the
said,
thing that's
my roommate's daughter just got here, so I have to be careful what I say out loud. So you know what I
right.
was getting at. Yeah. Yeah.
And he wouldn't kill her, but just repeatedly laser her to the point. Yes, but here's the problem. He would have to continually focus his laser powers on her while everybody else could be pummeling on him.
Yeah. I like Creep's suggestion: head grows new body, body grows evil twin.
But yeah, they have an interesting enough. This really reminds me of, and forgive me for not, I don't know what Earth number it is, but the DC alternate Earth that has the crime syndicate instead of the Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
It basically reminds me of that.
Well, that's kind of
You
what
know?
like the Injustice universe, like what those Injustice video games.
Right,
are
but
from.
you know what I'm talking about with the crime syndicate, right? Ultraman instead of Superman.
Oh yeah.
And Johnny Quick instead of the Flash, all that.
Yeah.
And so here you instead of Ultraman you have Homelander, instead of Johnny Quick you have A-Train. Instead of Superwoman you had Maeve. And so you could explore
Well,
this
Maeve was
world.
more like Wonder Woman. She was more. Of a
Yeah,
Wonder
but
Woman knockoff.
Superwoman in the in that alternate world was Wonder Woman.
Okay.
I know it doesn't make sense, but that's how they did it.
Mm-hmm.
But the I think it's interesting the idea of exploring a world where the most powerful team of superheroes was actually evil.
And that's Earth 3, just so you know.
Okay, I find that idea very interesting that we follow a band of non-heroes, basically non-powered beings, trying to deal with a world where the Justice League is evil. I think you're right. I don't think Maeve could fly, but she was basically analogous to Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I mean, she even dressed kind of like Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And the Seven were obviously their version of the Justice League.
Yeah.
But instead of throwing all this political crap into it, let's explore just the psychological aspect of what if heroes were evil? What kind of a messed up world would that be? And think about it. If Superman broke bad, how would the world deal with it?
Yeah. Those would be more interesting ways to go than with all this crazy sex stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, this is gratuitous. You were talking about
Right.
things being gratuitous.
Well,
or not.
this show, I mean, my biggest complaint about the show has been its gratuitous use of sex and violence from the beginning, but this season has definitely amped it up. This episode alone has as much gratuitous sexual references as the entire first season.
Yeah. No, this is. Yeah. And Creep, we don't talk about that. Salty got mad.
It's okay. You already spoiled that for me, so I'm never going to read it. Ironically, the wife and I are currently watching Logan, the movie, which is loosely based on that version of Wolverine.
I really like that movie a lot.
I hate that movie.
Really?
Oh, I hate that movie.
Does your wife like it?
No, she hates it even more than I do.
Then why are you guys watching it? Why do you do that to yourself?
Because there's no way in the world they do not reference Logan in some way in Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Okay.
And so we watched X-Men Origins Wolverine. We watched The Wolverine, which I think is the best Hugh
I love that
Jackman.
movie.
Yeah, that's the best Hugh Jackman Wolverine movie.
The director's cut. I hope you saw that one. That was the best. That
I
was
don't
so
remember
good.
the difference, so I couldn't tell you. We just watched.
It's,
what we
there's
had.
the biggest difference is the blood with the when he's fighting all those yakuza right before he gets to Silver Samurai, and he blows up that wood chopper thing, and he lights.
there's
his
more
cigar.
blood.
There's way more blood in that whole scene, and just
Gotcha.
him killing.
But
people.
anyway, so yeah, the Wolverine, which that was if it wasn't for the fact that Wolverine is literally a foot too tall and way too good looking, that would have been a perfect Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
But and now we have Logan, which is even worse than X-Men Origins Wolverine. Then after that, then we're gonna watch Deadpool and Deadpool 2.
Right on.
And then we'll be all set for Deadpool versus, not Deadpool versus, but Deadpool and Wolverine, which I think is going to probably be the best movie of the
Ghouls,
summer.
thanks for stopping by and joining us, and hopefully we're going to be wrapping up here pretty soon too. So.
Oh no, I'm going to keep you going for at least another hour just because you made me watch this crap.
Oh man.
I'm sorry. This was just. How can you defend this show?
I can't.